Hi, my name is Nina. I'm 35 years old, turning 36 in a few weeks. And in this video, I'd like to share 5 things I wish I knew before I turned 30. Like ideally 10 years ago or when I was 20. So if you're in your 20s, that might be useful for you. The first one is importance of doing mini exercises for your whole body, like at least 5-10 minutes 3-5 times a week. So like really, it's altogether 1 hour per week, but it should be regular. It should be a part of your routine. I used to play tennis, table tennis, and also do some dancing, but it wasn't regular. Like it was several times a month and it was quite intense, and I practiced and trained some groups of my muscles, but not all groups of my muscles. There is a lot of research showing that it's super important to train regularly all of your muscles. I didn't think it was a problem until last year when I was just taking tomato from my fridge. I leaned like that, and then my lower back had a big issue. So like I had cramps in my lower back, the pain went through the whole body, and like for several days I was in my bed, like I could barely move. I was crawling to the bathroom. In 2 weeks things got better. I thought I'm good now, but no, I was putting my pants on and that happened again, and then it was even worse. So I had to go to chiropractor because getting a doctor appointment quickly was hard. So a chiropractor on Hawaii, I was then on Hawaii by myself and I was like freaking out. He told me that, Nina, you have underdeveloped core and lower back muscles, and therefore there could be that some moves require the usage of those muscles and you cannot handle that. So you should start doing even 5-10 minute exercises, which are super simple. Like I started doing them. They are like not difficult. It just wasn't a part of my routine. And since last April, I've been doing that. It has been almost a year, and I feel such significant improvement in my overall feeling of the body. Like I feel much stronger. So right now it's just like 15 to 20 minutes exercises, like 3-4 times a week, but I try to keep them regular. And let's see, in a few years it should also help my weight loss goals, because regular exercises, they also keep your fat burning throughout the day, even if it was like for 5-10 minutes. There is research that has shown that. So number 2 thing that I wish I knew in my 20s is realizing the nutritional value of different items in your food. Like what you eat, it has different usage and importance for your body. And I didn't know that. Like for instance, I didn't know the importance of proteins for my body and for my muscles especially, because if you don't work out regularly and you also don't consume enough protein, that's like very bad. After your 30s, your muscles are not doing as good as they used to do before, when we had a self-regenerating process. Right now, not anymore. We have to nurture our body with good, balanced food. So I was a vegan for 1 year, and then for several years I ate not much meat. So I thought that eating fruits and vegetables is the healthiest possible diet. Like if you just eat fruits every day, fruits for breakfast, vegetables for lunch, and fruits for dinner, you are the healthiest. Like that's what I thought. I didn't think that you have to include protein-based items like eggs, nuts, cheese, and things like that. So it's not like I'm pro or against vegan. It's just like you need to make sure you eat a balanced food, you have a balanced diet. And now I know what food items contain what, and I try to combine different nutritional elements into my diet. I wish I knew it before this year. I literally learned it like in 35. The third item I wish I knew earlier is cultivating the feeling of gratefulness, like generating that feeling inside yourself. And here I don't mean that you necessarily have to tell to other people like, thank you for doing this, thank you for messaging me. Yes, I mean, that's good that you do it. The most important is what you feel inside yourself, that inside yourself you feel grateful. Grateful to the surrounding world and to yourself. So let's talk first about surrounding world. What can you be grateful for? If it's an apple, like you eat an apple, I'm grateful to the person who grew this apple tree and who gathered the apples, the person who brought the apples into the supermarket, the person on the checkout that I was able to buy that apple from the supermarket. I am even like trying to have this quest for what I'm grateful in every single thing. I'm grateful for you for being able to share my thoughts and ideas with you. How did I realize that it's so powerful? Is that when I had very bad moments in my life, when I was really sad, like I was nearly depressed, I was like, do I feel grateful then? And no, I did not, because in those moments, you don't feel grateful actually. You feel offended to the world. You feel like the world has been not fair to you. And these are exactly the moments when when you have to click inside your mind and you're like, hey Nina, you forgot how many things you take for granted, like how many gratefulness you could express right now. And this is exactly when I started practicing gratefulness, when I felt bad. So I started listening to audio recordings from Louisa Hay, where she says what is she grateful about. Grateful for the air we breathe, grateful to have warm bed. I mean, I'm from Ukraine right now. I am grateful, like I'm living in the US now, and I'm grateful that I can sleep throughout the night and not being waken up because of the attacks that are happening during the night, or because of the wildfires that are hitting LA right now. I mean, there are so many things we can be grateful for. I mean, they don't have to be based on the sufferings of others, like, oh, others suffer, I don't suffer, but you're lucky not to suffer. Actually, you're lucky to be healthy, to have food and where to live and what to drink. So being grateful, like being in this state of gratefulness for everything that you have. And the other component of this gratefulness is being grateful to your own self. You are doing so much throughout the day for yourself, for others. I'm grateful right now to myself to recording this video. I'm grateful that I've done some exercises yesterday and I will be even more grateful when I do more exercises today. Developing this habit of inner talk where you say to yourself that, hey, I'm grateful to you for this or that. Like, this is very, very important quality, because we tend to be more motivated to do more things when we feel grateful for. This also comes together with stop biting yourself and like, hey, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, like all the time. Of course, sometimes it's useful, like in this video, like, hey, Nina, you didn't thank yourself enough, woo, woo, woo. But okay, now I am thanking myself enough. Okay, number 4 that I wish I knew in my 20s. That's a big one. So for many years, I felt like I'm not like many other people. And I felt that most of people don't accept me the way I am. Some people even try to avoid talking to me, or like they don't enjoy talking to me. Like I have been since I was a child, like very sensitive to those things. And I thought for a long time this is something wrong with me. But now I know that I'm an amazing human being. It's just that it's normal that most of people are not like me. They're not on the same wave with me. We have a saying like this in Ukrainian, like they're not in the same wave with me. That's okay. So just stop spending your energy on thinking that, oh, maybe I'm wrong or maybe I should have done something different. No, you are amazing. It's just that you don't match with that person. Whoever it can be, your colleague, your friend, your boss, it's just like not a good match for you guys to hang out together. And whenever I met someone or meet someone that after talking to that person, I feel inspired, I feel motivated, I feel good. Just very simple. Like, do you feel good after talking to that person? If I do feel good, if I feel like my energy level, my inspiration have increased, I wanna to talk to that person more, you know? It's natural. It's just like being aware of that. And if that happens, if that click happens, then I try now to keep being in touch with that person. Of course, if that person is also wanting to be in touch with me. Then what comes is that after you find people with whom you are on the same wave, try to do efforts to be in touch with them, to set up more or less regular calls or meetings. Do efforts, because sometimes, I moved across different countries. I've lived in more than 7 different places around the world. Like, it's so easy to lose those people over time. So now I do more efforts to try to be in touch with those people. Also, it's important to mention that unfortunately people can change, and it can be that someone with whom before you felt uplifted and fun, after a few years, like, they change, and now after every conversation with them you start feeling down. That's okay, and that means that unfortunately you have to take a break, but it's okay. So anyways, bottom line, we cannot be friends with everyone, and whenever we find someone with whom we feel good and nice to be around with, just try to keep in touch with them. And by the way, also research has shown that people who keep strong social connections, they live longer lives. It's very hard to live an isolated life and to stay happy. Also, research has shown that. So another thing that I've noticed, that if I am sad for several days, again, this like near depressive state, then see that I haven't been in touch with anyone who is with me on the same wave for like at least a week. So then I try to make those efforts to try to remember, like, what are those people with whom I feel comfortable talking to, and I try to get in touch with them, and that helps a lot. But for this, it's very important that you don't get in touch with toxic people. So those should be people you get in touch with when you feel bad, should be those who really make you feel good historically, almost every time you are in touch with them. That's important. If you don't have such person, and I didn't have such people for a long time, then finding psychotherapist that is understanding you and nurturing you. I've been using psychotherapy, I've been doing psychotherapy for the last 3 years. I wouldn't say psychotherapist understands 100% of me. She maybe understands more than half of me. I think no one, including my parents, understand 100% of me. And by the way, my parents unfortunately often don't understand even half of me, even 30% of me. So anyways, even having someone around that understands 50% of you and having 1 hour conversation with such person a week can be a big game changer. And now the 5th thing that I wish I knew better 10 years ago is trusting more to my own ideas and my intuition, and also to make steps to make those ideas reality. Hey, you see this video right now, but would you believe that I wanted to do similar video like 10 years ago? 10 years ago, like when I was 25, I was doing my PhD in Switzerland, PhD in finance, and then got my co-authored article published at a top finance journal, top finance academic journal, and I wanted to share that experience with the world. YouTube stuff only started to become trendy, like sharing your experiences on YouTube, and for then I understood that that's like first time in the history of that university that a PhD student published at a top top academic journal for that university that was abnormal, and I knew that I did something great, and I was happy to share my process of working on that research. And I see now that a lot of people are sharing how they succeed in certain careers, but I was scared. What would people think? Like, isn't that weird? Like, what would my future employer think? And things like that. Also, another part, maybe I was a little bit lazy. I was like, yeah, but I can spend this time on something else. Every year, once in a while, I got the thought, like, I wish I started doing that. And like, at some point, I really felt how much I enjoy sharing my experience with others. 10 years ago, if I made like a few videos sharing my experience, like how I was successful in doing my PhD, how I got a job as a professor at one of the top 10 business schools in the US, maybe that have already helped someone in the last 10 years, but I haven't done that, you know, and that is sad. The world gave me amazing opportunities for me, for my career, for my success, and I haven't fully I did share advice to some people, but I could have shared it to way more people. Like, this is one of the examples. I regret I didn't do it earlier, but I'm happy that I'm doing it now. Doing this video. Please comment below if you enjoy watching this video and if you find it useful. If you're taking a shower, you're taking a walk, and you get some idea, don't diminish that idea inside your head. We are unique human beings, and I think we get ideas for a reason. Like, if we get some idea, it means the universe or someone wants us to pursue that idea. Imagine if we were doing all our ideas, following them and doing stuff, like how much we could have achieved. But I also would like to mention that sometimes I didn't pursue my ideas just because I wanted to focus on something. And I actually do believe in the power of focus, because sometimes to achieve real success in something, we need to focus on something and don't distract ourselves with other things. So that's why I don't regret too much about that. But right now I have time for making my different ideas true, like making this video. So if you are over 30, please write down below which thing that you wish you knew in your 20s. Let's see whether this is one of the things that are not in this video. If you are still in your 20s, write down if any of this advice you found useful, or maybe you have already noticed an importance of doing this, like eating healthy, working out, feeling great, finding your people, or trusting your intuition. Maybe you've already noticed an importance of that, and this is already how you live your life. Please write down below, and I see you in the future videos on this channel, where, by the way, I have done all these videos, but I never shown myself. This is the first video on this channel that I'm showing myself. Can you imagine how long it took me to show my face to all of you? Wow, thank you that you're here. Thank you. Bye.